And we're talking about how cold it's going to be for that Purdue-Nebraska game at 7:30 on Saturday night.
Long johns.
Yes, or maybe stay and watch on TV. I don't know. All right. Well, Gerry Dick is here. He's from Inside Indiana Business, joining us every Friday, talking about some of the big business stories from the week. And we're going to start with a big investment that Eli Lilly is making that's going to stay right here in Central Indiana.
In Central Indiana, Emery, $72 million is big news. Was announced this week, part of a bigger investment package in the United States that Lilly announced in the spring. But, you know, Lilly is one of those companies, very important, obviously, to the bottom line of Indianapolis and Indiana, but also to the psychology of the state. When Lilly's doing well, people feel pretty good about the economy. When things are maybe in question, it's a different story. You know, right now, Lilly going through a right-sizing of employment, a lot of early retirement programs being offered. This week, they announced quarterly results, which were generally positive, but they also said they're looking at Elanco, their very successful animal health unit based in Greenfield, looking at future options for what to do with Elanco.
And I think it's time to reevaluate the entire animal health business. So a team has been put together to look at a series of strategic alternatives, such as spin the company off as an IPO, to go through a merger, to sell the business, or to retain it as part of Lilly. Yeah. And it's really all an intent that the Elanco's now of a size and scale that we can evaluate different alternatives to maximize the value.
And Maria Crow talks about that investment that we mentioned, $72 million. You know, Lilly announced $850 million in investment in the U.S. earlier this year. That money is not guaranteed to go to Indianapolis. It's going to go to a lot of places. So the $72 million for insulin, diabetes, which is a big focus, as you know, of Lilly's efforts. Getting that investment here is a big thing.
Well, certainly after announcing 3,500 people were going to be laid off and offering those retirement packages, as you alluded to. Let's head up now to West Lafayette. Of course, they got a football game tomorrow, but also they've had a lot of success in their investment in launching startups and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, the Purdue Foundry launched in about 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago, and this week Purdue announcing that they have now launched 165, believe it or not, 165 startups, 100 of those with Purdue intellectual property since they opened about 4 years ago. This is important for a number of reasons. Among them, the fact that if you look in the U.S., the big job growth is going to come from these small startup entrepreneurial emerging companies. Indiana has over time not been necessarily that great in growing these. The Purdue results, if you will, that were announced this week, that really gets to the heart of growing jobs here in the economy. Those companies have attracted about 230, almost $250 million in investment.
Well, the whole workplace is changing, isn't it?
Totally. And the kinds of companies, Indiana's still a manufacturing state to be sure, but you look at the life sciences, the biosciences, all kinds of creative new companies, some of them in that Purdue list that was released this week. Interesting times.
All right, and much more about this with Gerry Dick's show, Inside Indiana Business, which you can watch every Sunday right here at 11 o'clock in the morning. So thanks so much, and welcome back from all your travels in London and Paris. It was fun to follow along on social media, so thanks for all your posts. Well.